I'm Simon Rios. The sweet melody you're hearing is inspired by something a lot of us have in our kitchen cabinets, sugar. This music is by the Sugar Road Band. It's the brainchild of Berklee College of Music assistant professor Leo Blanco. Sugar cultivation and production shaped world history, especially for people living in the Americas, the Caribbean, and Africa. In their quest for sugar, colonizers often displaced, enslaved, and exploited people of African descent. But as humans do, people brought together their cultures and their music across the world. And as cultures blended, so did sounds. That fusion of music, driven by the movement of sugar, is what Leo Blanco thinks about when he writes new songs.
So when I write music that it includes music from other cultures that are not mine, I like to study the history. I think that's the secret, to be authentic.
Let's listen to some of this. Your second single is called Brova Barama, and you're bringing here together South Indian music with Latin music. Let's listen.
Brova Barama, Raghurama, Brova Barama, Raghurama.
So you've said that the words that we're listening to there are a plea. A plea for what?
A plea for save the world. He's basically this character talking to God. And I think it kind of like talks in the moments we're living now, of like everything seems like falling apart in the world. And we kind of like looking or searching for some kind of salvation of humanity in this case. So yeah, Indian music based all its music based on a raga. And a raga is a concept that is foreign for us, for Westerner ears. Of course, it's not my culture directly, but I'll tell you, all this is ingranated and united because of the history of sugar.
All right, let's listen to some more music here. This song is called Dance of the Golden Snake in the Dominican Republic. This song combines a Chinese tradition with music from the DR. Tell us about how this came about.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting how sugar technology got from India into China. It was an emperor called Taizong. He was interested in longevity, and he heard that the Hindus have this Ayurveda system of health, and based on that, the Ayurveda system used sugar as a medicine. And so basically he started making business with India, and one of those businesses was the technology of sugar, and that influenced also the instruments that were coming into China at the moment. So that's the link we have with sugar in between India and China.
So I want to tell our listeners that we ran into each other a few years ago, and we were talking about the roots of much of Latin American music being from Cuba, which is a widely understood concept. But you said something that stuck with me, that Haiti also has this fundamental role in Latin American music, and it's part of the Sugar Road story. Talk about Haiti's role in Latin America.
Haiti was basically the cash box of France precisely because of the sugar manufacture. Until they made their Haitian Revolution, it was also underrated in the history books. After the revolution, a lot of slaves who were working on the sugar plantation, they flew to two places. The one who has more money went to Louisiana, New Orleans, and the one who couldn't afford going to Louisiana went to Cuba, to the east of Cuba, and installed these sugar plantations there. And a lot of slaves followed these owners. So Cuba got a lot of influence at that time from Haitian music, from Afro-Haitian music, which is a mix, of course, of European and African. But somehow in the history books, this has been neglected, the influence of Haiti in these two places. So through the Sugar Road, I've given a protagonic role of Haiti in the history of the development of music, of the African diaspora music in the Americas.
Wow, we talk about the importance of Cuban rhythms to all of the music of Latin America, but you're telling me that Haitian rhythms actually were what influenced Cuban rhythms.
Yeah, well, remember that after the revolution, United States and Europe completely banned the existence of Haiti almost. They didn't want to talk about Haiti because they didn't want to have the risk of having their black population being inspired in this revolution. So everything that was talked about Afro-Caribbean was Cuba at the time was very servant, let's say, to the United States and Europe at the time. It was kind of basically the casino of the United States before the Castro Revolution. And so that's why, Cuba gets all the love and deservedly so. I mean, it's amazing culture and music coming out from Cuba, but nobody talks about the influence of Haiti in this story.
What do you hope people take away when they listen to your songs on YouTube, when they go to your shows? What do you hope people learn?
I think that the main thing here is people to understand the value of history and that we don't only have to learn history through books because that can be very manipulated. One example of this, Simon, is that we Latin American, when we go to elementary school, the first class we say, well, we're a mix of African, indigenous, and Europeans, and they leave it until there. But what they don't tell us in the elementary school in Latin America is that we have a lot of Arab blood in our culture. And Spain was invaded 8 centuries by Arabs, and a lot of them flew into the Americas, but that's not in the history books because the people who were writing the history were the Spaniards, and they hate the Arabs at that point. So in a way, music tells the truth. And we have this Arab content when you listen to a joropo from Colombia or Venezuela. When you listen a lot of styles we have in Latin America, we sense this Arab influence that is not told in the history books, but is told in the music we hear. I think for me the important is to see everything is integrated. Arts is integrated with migration, with economy, with science, and it is important for us to understand the roots of our history so we can have a better, clear vision of where we're heading.
Leo Blanco teaches at Berklee College of Music. He also leads a project called the Sugar Road Band, showcasing music inspired by the history of sugar. And we'll go out on Leo Blanco's track, El Negro y el Blanco.